Hey there, and welcome to Hot Seat. And we are here to explore the reasons of why. What's the why? What's the purpose? What drives business owners to do what they do? If it's what you're looking for, to get motivated, well, we look forward to sharing this episode with you. I'm your host, Kelvin Holiday, and I am enjoying the fact that we can explore people's why and motivate others. So stay tuned for this exciting new episode. 15 minutes, fast paced. Let's do it. Well, welcome, folks, to another Hot Seat, and we are here with somebody pretty special, somebody I've known for some time, who come to me as a recommendation from a valued friend, Dale Beaumont, who really said, I said, hey, mate, I'm looking for somebody to really do some really important work for me in the copyright space. But this lady was a genius in that space, done a whole bunch of stuff around that idea of copywriting and marketing. And I'm going to introduce you to now. Clea, come on into the hot seat, mate.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, mate, it's great to have you. So we've known each other for a long time. We haven't had a close relationship, and that's okay. But you come with some really, really high recommendations from some people I greatly respect. And I think as soon as and I seen an email come out just not so long ago from you, and I went, wow, that was right on target. You know, it sparked my interest. We need to re-engage. So that's what sort of brought us here, isn't it?
Yes, and I was thinking, do you know what? We've been connected on Facebook for a really long time without ever having met in person.
Yeah.
But I think just having that little window into people's lives is so incredibly valuable because you feel like the friendship is already there. And when you do have a need to interact and do some work together, you've got that foundation of knowing each other. So just the fact that we connected on Facebook all those years ago has kind of brought us back together today, which I think is fantastic.
I really do, and we undervalue, the fact that sometimes we do connect to people, and it's just there sitting in the background, and something will spark. Some connection will make it up, and that's what's happened today. So let's get into it. Clea, tell us a little bit about Clea. But where you live, what's brought you, you're into this marketing and copyright sort of space now. What has been the career journey, the family journey, life journey that you've been on so far?
I think my journey in my profession, it started when I was 6 years old and I wrote a book and it was called The Princess and it won a prize.
Wow.
And that really defined me. And I realized that, oh, this is something that makes people sit up and take notice. This is something that gets Clea a nice round of applause. And it's something that I'm good at. And a few years later, I was very into ballet. And the teacher was going around the room and he said, choose a profession. And I said, ballerina. And he was a very blokey bloke and he went, come on, think of something else. And I thought, oh, I don't know. So I said, I'll be a writer. And he went, yeah, I could see that for you. And again, he just cemented it in that was my talent. So it's something that I really believed in myself from a really young age. And I always loved to read and write. I went into journalism. That's what I studied at university and ended up producing talk radio, which was incredibly fast-paced and incredibly busy. And you had to learn and produce content, bang, 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 really quickly. Burnt out in that career because it was so fast-paced, such high pressure, really intense environment. And it was around 2006, wandered through the doors of Yahoo Australia, just kind of knocked and they let me in. It was so much easier to break into internet back then. And that's when I started putting together my editorial skills and learning all about the world of online, which was completely foreign, very new to us, all of us at that time. So I started learning how to build websites, how to be a product manager. And I combined what I knew from the web with my news skills and ended up product managing the 7 News website, which was a fantastic time. We built an app, we launched an app. It was really exciting. When I had my children, that kind of didn't work for me anymore because I'm based here in Sydney and it's a long commute down to the city. So I hit a crossroad. I was offered a redundancy and I thought, what am I going to do? So I started copywriting and that's how it all kicked off. And that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is an impressive history. Yeah, a very impressive history. And I know, as I said, like some of the stuff that I've seen and you've produced has been, as I said, wow, and it's been pretty cool. So I can imagine. So you hit the crossroad, you got your redundancy and you went into the world of your own business, into copywriting. Tell us how that went. So a lot of people are in that, they might be in that corporate space at the moment. They're going, hey, I need to break out of this, or I'm going to burn out, and or my position is going to, disappear soon. I've got to think about going out and creating a career for myself. What was it, maybe some of the things that you can give some insights into some of the good and some of the not so good that happened in that period?
I think we all make the same mistakes when we start a business. We show up armed with our skill, which of course is the most important thing, and our network, which hopefully you've built over the years. And you start saying to your network, hey, this is my skill. And the work starts to come in, but then you realize, okay, now I have to figure out how to invoice people. Now I have to figure out how much of this money is actually mine. And everybody who I do a tiny bit of mentoring, everyone who I mentor says, this is what I'm going to charge an hour. And I say, no, 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 no. No, you need to charge more because you have no idea the cost of running a business. And it's not just invoicing to pay yourself, it's invoicing to pay the tax and invoicing to pay for all those little tools, the email, the website that you're building, all those bits and pieces. And then you realize, okay, I've worked my network. Now I need to market to the people who aren't in my network. And that's when you go, oh, okay, maybe this business owner thing is a little bit harder than I thought. But if you have the luxury of being able to pace yourself and start small, and if you are always focused on learning from other people, then you can build, and it's just amazing kind of what you can achieve. Before you know it, you need to hire someone, and that's really exciting.
Yeah. There's some real gold nuggets in there, folks. Like what you've just said is just, it's quite interesting. Your skill is your skill, all right? But I'm just going to highlight just two or three things you just said there. Build your network, all right? Understand that, understand your own worth, your value, what it costs for you, and then your business costs. So there's quite a few little ones. So folks, go back and actually rewind this a little bit. Maybe have another listen to those couple of little nuggets of some of the experiences at Clea and most businesses. I've done the same thing, But as you said, you just, you got to the stage where you employed somebody. How did that feel when all of a sudden now you've got somebody else to be able to, help you? All right. What was maybe some of the good, the exciting parts? Because you said it was exciting, but what were some of the challenges in that process as well?
I think it's another mistake that people going from sole traders to business owners make. They put off hiring someone for a really long time because they're just scared of the idea of the financial commitment. So that was my first mistake, was probably not doing it for a year when I really could have been doing it. Before I hired my team member, Chantilly, she's in the Philippines, I made sure I had everything documented and ready so she could hit the ground running. I'd done a lot of learning with Dale Beaumont, and I knew I had to do that. I had a list of things for her to do and a group of videos. So she could just follow the videos, follow the steps, and hit the ground running. When she came on board, I thought, oh my God, I've cloned myself. Like all those things I have to do every day, there's now two of me to do them. And it was such a relief to get to 6 p.m. every day and not go, oh my God, there's so much to do, but to go, oh, we're under control. In terms of lessons, do you know what? I've had the same team member for 4 years, and she has been fantastic. And I think we've been able to build a relationship as friends as well as colleagues. And I can't fault her, and I feel really lucky and blessed to have that support on my side.
You have been blessed, of course, it's not always everybody's experience, and particularly when you're going through an outsource, you're going through the Philippines, that's one of the businesses I run as an outsourced team, and you don't strike that gold on the first time often. Sometimes it takes a couple, but you got to stick at it. But again, another nugget you just said, what you've learned in building the systems, building, cloning yourself. Some really good tips there, folks, to really be able to leverage your skills, stay in the passion that you have, all right, stay in doing the things and outsource the things that really are draining and take your time away from producing the incomes. Mate, some really good ones here. So I just want to get into, so now you're in business, you're starting to talk to people, and And I know that, and you're a mum, so you're trying to balance business and motherhood and family life and stuff like that. And obviously, we get those clients that start to create some personal challenges. They push our buttons and stuff like that. And I can imagine in the copy world sort of area, copywriting world, a lot of people are critical. All right, and all of a sudden there's barriers that come up, and so maybe tell us a little bit about your experiences, dealing with clients and helping them to overcome their barriers.
It's always a challenge. Copy is subjective. One person's perfect is literally another person's terrible. I used to take feedback really personally. I'd have to stop what I was doing. I'd have to have a cry. I'd have to eat a packet of Tim Tams, spend the whole weekend raging against somebody's feedback. Now I quite like even negative. I prefer constructive, but even negative feedback to me, that's a challenge to say, okay, firstly, let's get it to a place where you want it. And second, let me explain why I've written it the way I write it. A mistake a lot of business owners make, they go, I don't like that. And the question isn't whether or not you like it, it's will your customers like it? Does it talk to your customers? Will it resonate with them? We can always tweak style and tone of voice, but a lot of people forget that when you're in business, it's not about you, it's about the customer. It's about helping them achieve their goals. So sometimes it takes a little while to work up to that stage. But I say to people, it's just words on a page. We can change it. Whatever you want, please give me some specific. People who say, I don't like it, that's not very helpful for me. Why don't you like it? What don't you like? What would you like to fix? How would you prefer to have it? And then we can move on from there.
Okay, another something for us to learn as business owners is that initially everything is personal because this business is your baby, you know, and you just said that so well there, Clea, where it is your baby and you take it personally. You get to all go through those stages of grief and anger and then all of a sudden you just get over that. That's a stage that we go through as a business and as an entrepreneur that people will criticize. And then you've got to understand that take away the personal aspect. They're criticizing the work or give us some constructive criticism, give us some specific, feedback rather than generalize. And that's when we can actually make some motive. And they're talking about the piece of work, not about you personally. All right. So mate, that is a great tip. So if I was to say to you, maybe what would be one of those things here, you're dealing with a client, and I know we're going to be talking a little bit later on in another podcast, which we call Tool Time, about maybe 9 ways that you can get out of your own way. But maybe just give us one idea or one barrier that people put into their life when it comes to copywriting. What are one of those tips that you can give us right now?
Maybe not specifically copywriting, but definitely marketing is, especially when you're small, you are your business and your business is you. And a lot of people become very fearful about marketing themselves because putting their business out there means putting themselves out there, and that means opening yourself up to criticism. It can be upsetting if you send emails to people and you get a couple of responses that are really intensely negative because it feels personal. So people say to me, oh, I don't want to send out emails because I don't want to bother people. And people find email annoying. And I say, no, you have that in your head. Do you think that the executives at Amazon are sitting around a table or were 20 years ago going, ooh, we'd better not annoy people? It's a really big roadblock that you have to remove for yourself and say, look, if I send 100 or 1,000 emails, you're always going to have the 1% who don't respond well. But like us reconnecting, that came from us sending an email. You wouldn't have got in touch if I hadn't put on my big girl pants and started sending emails to people. So there's just little things like that to keep in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's exactly right. Like I get literally, on a daily basis, I could get 200 or 300 emails a day, and I typically will just go, oh yeah, delete, 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 delete. And it's just the catch, that subject line and go, oh, I haven't heard from Clea. Like there's those triggers, the Facebook, there's a previous relationship, there's something that triggered something. I've seen the name, I'm going to open this and read it,
Yeah,
and
My favorite saying, what you seek is seeking you. I'm not going to open those Amazon emails until I need a book to read or, something fun to send to someone for Christmas. And then right place, right time. Perfect.
Absolutely. Right. Perfect example of putting this podcast together and us reconnecting after all these years, which is cool. Clea, this has been sensational, and we're almost out of time, which is, as I said, goes so fast. But I just know you've got so much more value to add. So there is something we're going to put a masterclass on in the future. So tell us maybe a little bit. There's 9 tips or 9 whatever. Tell us a little bit more about that.
This is something I've presented a few times, and it really resonates with people, especially in the early stages of their business journey. And it's about the mental roadblocks that are stopping you from marketing yourself. So having this fixed belief that people don't like email is one of them. And there's other things people tell themselves, even just, I hate the sight of my own face. They can't bring themselves to put themselves out there because they don't have that confidence. So I've broken down in my conversations with hundreds of clients over the years, the main things that they say to people, put this together in a presentation, and just basically myth busting really, and helping people get out of their own way when it comes to self-promotion.
How do you get out of your own way? I reckon I can't wait for that one because I get in my road all the time.
We all do.
Clea, this has been phenomenal, mate. I have enjoyed this immensely. I personally have learned a lot. And totally enjoyed us reconnecting again. And I'm really looking forward to doing a tool time in the near future. So I'm going to ask you that one last thing. I'm going to throw out another question. What is that one hot tip that you want people to go away with today that will really just take them to the next level if they're struggling?
Okay, let me think. Gosh, I could talk underwater and I could give you 1,000 tips. Something that I have kept in mind this year, my industry has changed massively over the last 12, 18 months. There's been huge upheaval. It's been really upsetting. And in a few mornings I've woken up and I've actually thought, my goodness, I've got nothing to do today, which I didn't have for 10 years. The big thing that I think people need to remember is things can change in a moment. You can make one phone call, you can make one post on social media, you can send one email, and the entire direction of your week or month or revenue can change. There's no such thing. If you are at rock bottom, just look around for a door or a window, because there's always something, there's always the next thing, and there's always people willing to help.
Excuse me. That is awesome. That is awesome. And what you're referring to there is pretty much AI, the whole ChatGPT and, but I know that is not the answer to good copy. It is just not.
Yeah, and we can work together. I mean, imagine identifying as a writer from 6 years old, and then suddenly a robot comes along and goes, guess what? I can do it, and I can do it without the typos. It's been a big adjustment, a big learning curve, but you can only reframe and look at it with excitement and explore the potential, figure out how to work hand in hand with what's going on, and just enjoy the ride. Yeah,
embrace it, don't ignore it. That's the easiest way to do it. Clea, that has been fantastic. Really appreciate your time here today, and really looking forward to our tool time coming up in the near future.
Me too. I'll see you very soon.
Cool. Folks, that is another hot seat, and it has been an absolute one, jam-packed with some real good nuggets. I again say go back and have a listen. Don't forget to share this one with your friends and family, and make sure you turn up again for the next hot seat. See you then. Thanks for joining us here at Hot Seat. It's been an amazing, amazing event. It is a place where you can actually enjoy and be inspired by the why of others, the drive of the purpose and the passion. Please like and share this podcast with as many people as you can to inspire them to make a difference in this world. Have an awesome day. Unleash.